after that, do you notice that such people are always wide-eyed and never blink? So what is going on with this guy? I'm whatever this dude is, phobic. All right, let's find out what it is.
Phobic. I just don't want to be fat. That's not how it works. No, seriously, I have no problem with fat people. I think they're beautiful. I'm all for body positivity or whatever. I just don't want to be fat. Actively not wanting to be fat is fat phobia. And therefore, you're fat phobic. And so what? Am I supposed to want to be fat? Literally nobody is saying that. There is little to no evidence that we have any control over our size long term, so we might as well just stop wanting size changes in general. So what am I supposed to do then? Read up on fat liberation, follow fat activists and creators, and commit to unlearning your fat.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
For the life of me, Pierre, I have no idea what that means. None whatsoever. That is just gibberish, as far as I can tell. And if you're saying that, you should actually be fat, shouldn't you? I mean, and it's full of bullshit. Let's see, what is he saying here? So it's supposed to want to be fat. There is little to no evidence we have any control over our, let's play that.
Be fat? Literally nobody is saying that. There is little to no evidence that we have any control over our size long term, so we might as
well. That's just not true, though, is it? That's just not true. So it's just not true that you have no control over your size long term. That's just a lie. Why do people believe this? How can people be so credulous and so stupid? I guess what it is that, again, there's no profit in questioning any of this stuff for the woke. Right? It's just safer just to never be exposed to any other ideas than the ideas that are around you in your woke bubble. Because if you start questioning, that causes problems. People might start denouncing you. You might get kicked out from your friend group, whatever. It's best just to never hear anything that contradicts any of the insane bullshit and it's like a cult, right? Like cult members, they're not allowed to interact with people outside the cult. Or else they get in trouble. There's a reason for that, because you might hear something that's common sense that might cause some cognitive dissonance or something. It might make you start questioning things, like that you have no control over the size of your body long term, which is just clearly false. It couldn't be any more clear that that's false. That's just so obviously not true. Like, it really comes down to calories in, calories out. We're biological machines, right? Like, how much energy you take into your body matters. How much energy you burn matters. This is something a child knows. So the question is, how do these people keep believing in it? They keep believing it, or they pretend to believe it. They pretend to believe it because there's no profit in not doing that. There's just all downside for them. I mean, you look at this, and again, I'm sure everybody thinks to themselves, like, what happened? Like, is this an alternate reality? How can people really believe this? Well, I mean, people can want to believe things, and they can want to avoid discomfort, and the discomfort that they might come into if they say something that will anger the rest of the cult. So maybe that explains it. Jordan Peterson said, do you notice that such people are always wide-eyed and never blink? Yeah, that's super cult behavior, isn't it? That's actually cult leader. That's a cult leader characteristic. Not blinking, wide-eyed and not blinking. Very weird. Let's take a look at what the internet has to say. Let's see. Anthony Hopkins figured out that's the best way to look like a serial killer in the 80s. Yes, it is. Let's see. Dr. Peterson, Tim Cast hit the nail on the head the other night when he said that what we're dealing with is mental illness disguising itself as social issues. I think this framing is absolutely right because it is absolutely true. Can you share your thoughts on this? Well, it doesn't look like he did. But mental illness disguising itself as social issues, I think that's a part of it. I think clearly mentally ill people are a prime target for cult leaders or manipulative people, narcissistic people, the kind of people that that would take like leadership positions in like wokeness and social justice, that sort of thing. It's actually prime territory for a psychopath, actually, because you can exercise so much control over people with ideology, especially, vulnerable people and weak-minded people. And I guess also stupid people. Useful idiot types. How come they're always telling us how it works? Somehow they developed a paradigm where it is not even possible to have a discussion about it, as if there can only be one correct position on the topic. That's not how it works, but it works for them. That's how it works for them, though, right? That's the praxis where they're going off the assumption that it's all true. Yeah, I mean the true cult members, there's no point even trying to have a discussion with them because they're just gone, right? They've been trained not to think, so eventually they will, whatever their movement warps into, they will just follow that blindly as well.